Topic: Photosynthesis, the plant's amazing power snack. Imagine you're a super-powered plant. You don't eat burgers or pizza, but you somehow create your own energy from sunlight, air, and water. That's exactly what photosynthesis is all about. Photosynthesis is like a plant's secret recipe for making its food. It's a super cool process where plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, the gas we breathe out, to create glucose, a type of sugar, their yummy energy source, and oxygen, the gas we breathe in. Think of it as plants turning sunlight into delicious plant power, the energy source. It's like the electricity that powers your video games. Absorbed through the roots, it's like the main ingredient in your favorite smoothie. Taken from the air through tiny holes in leaves called stomata, stomata. It's like the secret spice that makes a plant food delicious. The green pigment in plants that captures the sunlight. It's like the solar panels on a spaceship collecting energy. The sugar made by the plant, its fuel for growth and energy. It's like the plant's energy bar, a byproduct of photosynthesis which plants release into the air. It's the air we need to breathe. 1. Chlorophyll in the leaves captures sunlight's energy. 2. Roots absorb water from the soil. 3. Stomata on the leaves take in carbon dioxide from the air. 4. The plant uses the sunlight's energy to convert water and carbon dioxide into glucose and oxygen. 5. The plant uses glucose for growth, repair, and energy. 6. The plant releases oxygen into the atmosphere. Most of the food we eat comes directly or indirectly from plants that use photosynthesis. Think fruits, vegetables, grains, even meat from animals that eat plants. Photosynthesis provides the oxygen we breathe. Without it, we wouldn't be here. Plants absorb carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, helping to regulate Earth's climate. 1. What is the main product of photosynthesis? A carbon dioxide. B. Water. C. Glucose. D. Sunlight. 2. Plants need sunlight to perform photosynthesis. 3. Name 2 things plants take in during photosynthesis. 4. Which pigment captures sunlight in plants? A. Chlorophyll. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Glucose. D. Oxygen. 5. Photosynthesis produces oxygen as a byproduct. 6. Briefly explain the role of water in photosynthesis. 7. How does photosynthesis contribute to the Earth's climate? 1. C. Glucose. 2. True. 3. Water and carbon dioxide. 4. A. Chlorophyll. 5. True. 6. Water is a reactant used in a process of converting light energy into chemical energy. 7. It absorbs carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, helping to regulate the Earth's temperature. Some plants can perform photosynthesis even in low light conditions, like those found deep in forests or underwater. Topic: The amazing world of cells, the tiny building blocks of life. Ever wondered what you're actually made of? You're made of trillions of tiny things called cells. They are like the Lego bricks that build everything in your body, your skin, your hair, even your brain. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living things. They're so small you need a powerful microscope to see them, but they're incredibly complex and amazing. Think of them as tiny, self-contained factories, each with its own specialized job. There are 2 main types of cells. These are simpler cells without a nucleus or control center. Bacteria are examples of organisms with prokaryotic cells. Think of them as smaller, simpler factories. These are more complex cells with a nucleus and other specialized structures called organelles. Plants, animals, fungi, and protists have eukaryotic cells. Think of these as large, advanced factories with many different departments. The brain of a cell controlling its activities. It's like the CEO's office in a factory. The jelly-like substance filling the cell. It's like the factory floor. The powerhouses of the cell, producing energy. They are like the generators in a factory. Make proteins, the building blocks of the cell. They are like the construction workers. The outer boundary of the cell controlling what enters and exits. It's like the factory walls and gates. Plant cells have some extra features. A rigid outer layer providing support and protection. It's like an extra strong factory wall. Contain chlorophyll, enabling photosynthesis. They are like the solar panels on the factory roof. A large storage sac for water and other substances. It's like a large warehouse. Understanding cells helps us develop new medicines and treatments for diseases. Modifying cells can improve crop yields and create disease-resistant plants. Cells are used in various technologies, like producing biofuels and cleaning up pollution. 1. What are the basic building blocks of all living things? Atoms. B. Molecules. C. Cells. D. Organs. 2. All cells have a nucleus. 3. Name 2 differences between plant and animal cells. 4. What is the function of the mitochondria? A. To control cell activities. B. To produce energy. C. To make proteins. D. To store water. 5. Bacteria have eukaryotic cells. 6. What is the role of the cell membrane? 7. Give one real-world application of cell biology. 1. C cells. 2. False. 3. Plant cells have a cell wall and chloroplasts, animal cells do not. 4. B. To produce energy. 5. False. 6. To control what enters and exits the cell. 7. Medicine, agriculture, or biotechnology. Any valid answer. The human body contains approximately 37 trillion cells. Topic: The amazing world of photosynthesis biology. Ever wondered how plants get so big and strong, even though they just sit in the sun and drink water? It's all thanks to photosynthesis, the secret superpower. Imagine a plant as a tiny solar-powered food factory. Photosynthesis is like a plant's magic trick. It's the process where plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, a gas we breathe out, to create their own food, sugar, and oxygen in the air we breathe. Think of it like this: sunlight is the energy, water is one ingredient, carbon dioxide is another, and the plant's leaves are the kitchen where the magic happens. The food sugar provides energy for the plant to grow taller, stronger, and produce flowers and fruits. The oxygen is a byproduct, a free gift to us. The energy source, like the electricity power in your kitchen appliances. The green pigment in plants that captures sunlight. Think of it as the plant's solar panels. That's why plants are green, they're packed with solar panels, absorbed through the plant's roots, like the water you use to cook. A gas taken in from the air through tiny holes in the leaves called stomata. Think of it as another essential ingredient in the recipe. The plant's food providing energy for growth. It's like the delicious cake you bake after using all your ingredients. A byproduct released into the air. Our essential breath of fresh air. Photosynthesis happens mainly in the leaves in tiny structures called chloroplasts. These chloroplasts are like mini power stations packed full of chlorophyll. Imagine them as little solar panels inside the plant cells. Most of our food comes directly or indirectly from plants that use photosynthesis. Think fruits, vegetables, grains, even the meat from animals that eat plants. Photosynthesis provides the oxygen we need to breathe. Without plants, there wouldn't be enough oxygen for us to survive. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to regulate the Earth's climate. They act as giant carbon dioxide sponges. 1. What is the main product of photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Water. C. Sugar. D. Sunlight. 2. Chlorophyll is a green pigment that captures sunlight. 3. Name 2 things plants need to carry out photosynthesis. 4. Where does photosynthesis primarily take place in a plant? A. Roots. B. Stem. C. Leaves. D. Flowers. 5. Photosynthesis releases oxygen into the atmosphere. 6. Explain how photosynthesis helps regulate the Earth's climate. 7. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? A. Absorbs water. B. Releases oxygen. C. Captures sunlight. D. Produces sugar. Some plants can even photosynthesize underwater. Seaweed and other aquatic plants are masters of underwater photosynthesis. Topic: The magic of chemical reactions. Chemistry. Ever seen baking soda and vinegar fizz and bubble when mixed? That's a chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are happening all around us, all the time, even inside your body. A chemical reaction is when substances change into entirely new substances with different properties. It's like a magic show where ingredients transform into something completely different. Think of baking a cake. You mix flour, sugar, eggs, etc., and they change into a delicious cake, a completely new substance. In a chemical reaction, the starting materials are called reactants. They are like the ingredients in your cake recipe. The new substances formed are called products. These are like the delicious cake itself, like when baking soda and vinegar react. Think of rust forming on a metal object, the color change from silver to reddish brown. Some reactions release heat exothermic, like burning wood. Others absorb heat endothermic, like melting ice. Sometimes a solid forms from a liquid, like when you mix two clear liquids and a cloudy solid appears. Fireflies produce light through a chemical reaction, a spectacular light show. There are many types of chemical reactions, but some common ones include 2 or more substances combine to form a new, more complex substance. Think of building with Lego, combining smaller bricks to create a bigger structure. A substance breaks down into simpler substances. Think of a cake being broken into smaller pieces. One element replaces another in a compound. It's like substituting one Lego brick for another in your structure. 2 compounds exchange parts to form 2 new compounds. It's like swapping Lego bricks between 2 different structures. Your body uses chemical reactions to break down food into smaller molecules that it can absorb. Cars use chemical reactions to burn gasoline to produce energy. Plants use chemical reactions to convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. Many medicines work by triggering or stopping specific chemical reactions in your body. 1. What are the starting materials in a chemical reaction called? A. Products. B. Reactants. C. Catalysts. D. Compounds. 2. A chemical reaction always involves a color change. 3. Give 2 examples of signs that a chemical reaction has occurred. 4. What type of reaction is it when 2 substances combine to form a new substance? A. Decomposition. B. Synthesis. C. Single replacement. D. Double replacement. 5. Burning wood is an example of an endothermic reaction. 6. Explain how chemical reactions are important for digestion. 7. What happens in a single replacement reaction? A. 2 compounds exchange parts. B. A compound breaks down. C. One element replaces another in a compound. D. 2 elements combine. The rusting of iron is a slow chemical reaction that can take years. Topic: Forces and motion physics. Latest trending YouTube topic. Newton's laws explained simply. Ever pushed a toy car across the floor? It moves because of a force you applied. Forces and motion are everywhere, from walking to driving to launching rockets. A force is a push or pull. It can change the motion of an object, start it moving, stop it, change its direction, or change its speed. Think about pushing a door open, pulling a wagon, or throwing a ball. These are all examples of forces in action. Sir Isaac Newton, a brilliant scientist, described how forces in motion work with his 3 famous laws. 1. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Think of a hockey puck. It will keep sliding until friction slows it down. 2. The acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and inversely proportional to its mass. Simply put, the bigger the push or pull force, the faster it accelerates. And the heavier the object mass, the slower it accelerates. Think about pushing a shopping cart. It's easier to push an empty one than a full one. 3. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Think about jumping. You push down on the earth action, and the earth pushes back up on your reaction, propelling you upwards. The force that pulls everything towards the earth. That's why things fall down. The force that opposes motion between 2 surfaces. It slows things down. Think of rubbing your hands together. You feel friction as heat. Force applied directly to an object, like pushing a shopping cart. The force exerted by magnets. Force that opposes the motion of an object through the air. Think of a parachute slowing down a skydiver. Cars, trains, and airplanes all rely on forces and motion to move. Throwing a ball, hitting a baseball bat, or kicking a soccer ball all involve forces and motion. Building structures requires understanding forces and motion to ensure stability. Rockets use forces to overcome gravity and travel into space. 1. What is a force? A. The speed of an object. B. The direction of an object. C. A push or a pull. D. The mass of an object. 2. Newton's first law is also known as the law of inertia. 3. Explain Newton's second law of motion in your own words. 4. Which force opposes motion between two surfaces? A. Gravity. B. Magnetic force. C. Friction. D. Applied force. 5. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. 6. Give an example of a real-world application of Newton's third law. 7. What force pulls objects towards the Earth? A. Friction. B. Air resistance. C. Gravity. D. Magnetic force. Astronauts experience weightlessness in space because they are constantly falling around the Earth. Topic: the amazing world of photosynthesis biology. Imagine you're a plant. You're stuck in the ground, can't go to the grocery store for a snack, and yet you grow big and strong. How do you do it? The answer is photosynthesis, your secret superpower. Photosynthesis is like a plant's kitchen. It's the process where plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make their own food, sugar, and release oxygen as a byproduct. Think of it as nature's way of turning sunlight into delicious, plant-powered energy. Plants have a special pigment called chlorophyll, which is what makes leaves green. Chlorophyll acts like a solar panel, capturing the energy from sunlight. This captured energy is the power behind the whole process. It's like charging a battery with sunshine. Plants absorb water from the soil through their roots. This water is crucial. It's like one of the main ingredients in our plant-powered recipe. Plants take in carbon dioxide from the air through tiny holes in their leaves called stomata. This is the same carbon dioxide we breathe out. It's like adding the secret spice to our plant recipe. The plant uses the energy from sunlight, along with water and carbon dioxide, to create glucose sugar. This sugar is the plant's food. It provides the energy needed for growth, repair, and all the plant's activities. Think of it as the yummy cake after all the baking. As a bonus, plants release oxygen into the air during photosynthesis. This is the very oxygen we breathe. So, plants are not only making their own food, but they're also cleaning the air for us. What amazing little chefs! Almost all the food we eat, either directly or indirectly, relies on photosynthesis. Fruits, vegetables, grains, they all depend on this process. Photosynthesis is responsible for the oxygen in our atmosphere. Without it, there would be no life as we know it. Plants absorb carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, during photosynthesis. This helps regulate the Earth's climate and prevents global warming. 1. What is the main product of photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Water. C. Sugar. D. Sunlight. 2. Chlorophyll is a pigment that absorbs sunlight. 3. Name 2 things plants need for photosynthesis besides sunlight. 4. What gas do plants release during photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Nitrogen. C. Oxygen. D. Hydrogen. 5. Photosynthesis only happens during the day. 6. How does photosynthesis help regulate the Earth's climate? 7. What part of the plant absorbs water from the soil? A. Leaves. B. Stem. C. Roots. D. Flowers. 1. C. Sugar. 2. True. 3. Water and carbon dioxide. 4. C. Oxygen. 5. True. 6. It absorbs carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. 7. C. Roots. Some plants can even use photosynthesis at night. These plants, called CAM plants, store carbon dioxide during the night and use it for photosynthesis during the day to conserve water in hot, dry climates. Topic: the wonders of the water cycle, physics and chemistry. Have you ever seen rain falling, clouds forming, or a river flowing? These are all part of the water cycle, a continuous journey of water on, above, and below the surface of the earth. The water cycle is like a giant, never-ending game of water tag. It involves several key processes. Think of a puddle drying up on a sunny day. The sun's heat turns liquid water into water vapor gas, which rises into the atmosphere. It's like water escaping to the sky. Plants also contribute to the water cycle. They release water vapor into the air through tiny holes in their leaves. This is called transpiration. It's like plants breathing out water vapor. As the water vapor rises, it cools down and turns back into tiny liquid water droplets or ice crystals. These droplets clump together to form clouds. It's like the water vapor getting together for a party. When the water droplets or ice crystals in clouds become too heavy, they fall back to earth as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. It's like the cloud party getting a little too crowded. Once precipitation reaches the ground, it can flow into rivers, lakes, and oceans, or soak into the ground to become groundwater. This is like the water gathering back together. Water that flows over the land surface rather than soaking into the ground is called runoff. It's like water taking a shortcut. The water we drink comes from sources replenished by the water cycle. Farmers rely on rainfall and irrigation supplying water artificially for crop production. Dams use the energy of flowing water to generate electricity. The water cycle plays a vital role in shaping our weather patterns and climate. Water H2O is a unique molecule made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. This simple structure gives water many special properties, such as its ability to dissolve many substances and its high heat capacity, meaning it takes a lot of energy to heat up or cool down. 1. What is the process where liquid water turns into water vapor? A. Condensation. B. Precipitation. C. Evaporation. D. Collection. 2. Plants contribute to the water cycle through a process called transpiration. 3. Name 3 forms of precipitation. 4. What happens when water vapor cools down and turns back into liquid water? Evaporation. B. Transpiration. C. Condensation. D. Runoff. 5. Groundwater is water that has soaked into the ground. 6. How does the water cycle impact agriculture? 7. What is the chemical formula for water? A-CO, B-HO, CO, D NaCl. 1. C. Evaporation. 2. True. 3. Rain, snow, hail, or sleet. 4. C. Condensation. 5. True. 6. It provides water for crops. 7. B-HO. The total amount of water on Earth remains relatively constant. The water cycle simply recycles the same water over and over again. That's why it's so important to protect our water resources. This is a sample of 2 topics. Further topics covering physics, chemistry, and more biology concepts can be generated following the same format. Remember to research the latest trending YouTube topics with the video suggestions in each section. Topic: The amazing world of photosynthesis biology. Ever wondered how plants get so big and strong, even though they just sit in one spot all day? They're not magically growing. They're using the power of the sun, air, and water through a process called photosynthesis, basically plant magic. Imagine a plant as a tiny green food factory. Photosynthesis is the process where plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, a gas we breathe out, to create their own food, sugar, and oxygen, the air we breathe. It's like a superpowered chef making delicious meals using sunlight as the main ingredient. 1. Plants have special cells called chloroplasts, which contain chlorophyll. That's what makes plants green. Chlorophyll acts like a solar panel, capturing the energy from sunlight. 2. Plants absorb water through their roots, which acts like straws sucking up water from the soil. This water travels up the plant stem to the leaves, where the magic happens. 3. Plants take in carbon dioxide from the air through tiny holes in their leaves called stomata. Think of them as tiny breathing holes. 4. Using the sunlight's energy, the plant combines the water and carbon dioxide to create glucose, a type of sugar, its food. This is like a plant's version of a delicious energy bar. 5. As a byproduct of this amazing process, plants release oxygen into the air, the very air we need to breathe. So thank you, plants. Most of our food comes directly or indirectly from plants that use photosynthesis. Fruits, vegetables, grains, they all rely on this process. Photosynthesis is responsible for most of the oxygen in our atmosphere. Without it, we wouldn't be able to breathe. Plants absorb carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that contributes to climate change. So, forests and other green spaces are crucial for a healthy planet. 1. What is the green pigment in plants that captures sunlight? A. Chlorophyll. B. Glucose. C. Carbon dioxide. D. Water. 2. Plants release carbon dioxide and absorb oxygen during photosynthesis. 3. Name 2 things plants need to perform photosynthesis. 4. What is the main product of photosynthesis that plants use as food? Oxygen. B. Water. C. Carbon dioxide. D. Glucose. 5. Explain how photosynthesis helps to control climate change. 6. Chloroplasts are found in the roots of plants. 7. Name 1 real-world application of photosynthesis beyond food production. Even though plants are doing photosynthesis all the time, they actually do it faster in brighter light and warmer temperatures. That's why they grow best in sunny, warm weather. Topic: mind-bending molecules, an introduction to chemistry. Ever wondered what makes a lemon sour or a candle burn? It's all about chemistry. Chemistry is the study of matter and how it changes, and it's involved in almost everything around us. Everything around you, your desk, your clothes, even you, is made up of matter. Matter is anything that has mass, weight, and takes up space. Think of it as the building blocks of the universe. Matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are so small you can't even see them with a regular microscope. They're like the Lego bricks of the universe, combining in different ways to create everything around us. Different types of atoms are called elements. Each element is represented by a symbol like H for hydrogen, O for oxygen, and C for carbon. Elements are like the different types of Lego bricks. You can only build so much with just one kind, but with many, the possibilities are endless. When atoms combine, they form molecules. Molecules are like structures built from Lego bricks. Water, HO, is a molecule made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Sugar, salt, and even your DNA are all made of different molecules. Chemical reactions are when molecules interact and change. Burning wood is a chemical reaction where wood molecules react with oxygen to produce ash, smoke, and energy. Digestion is also a series of chemical reactions breaking down food into smaller molecules. Medications are made up of specific molecules designed to interact with the body's systems. Chemists work to improve food preservation, flavor, and nutrition. Creating new materials like plastics and stronger metals relies heavily on chemical principles. 1. What is matter? Anything that takes up space. B. Anything that has mass. C. Anything that has mass and takes up space. D. Only living things. 2. Atoms are visible to the naked eye. 3. What is an element? Give an example. 4. What is the chemical formula for water? CO. B. NaCl. CO. DO. 5. Give an example of a chemical reaction in everyday life. 6. Molecules are made up of atoms. 7. Name 1 area where chemistry plays a crucial role. The air we breathe is a mixture of different gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, held together by chemical forces. The topic: forces in motion. The physics of movement physics. Ever wondered why a ball thrown in the air eventually comes back down? Or how a roller coaster manages to loop the loop? It's all thanks to forces and motion. A force is a push or a pull that can change an object's motion. Gravity is a force pulling everything towards the earth, while you use force when you push a door open or kick a soccer ball. Sir Isaac Newton, a brilliant scientist, described 3 basic laws of motion. 1. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Think about how seatbelt helps keep you safe in a car crash. Your body wants to keep moving, but the seatbelt applies a force to stop you. 2. The acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and inversely proportional to its mass. This means a heavier object needs a bigger force to accelerate it than a lighter one. Think about pushing a shopping cart versus a car. The car is much harder to push. 3. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. When you jump, you push down on the earth action, and the earth pushes back up on your reaction, propelling you upwards. Rockets use this principle to launch into space. The force that pulls objects towards each other, especially towards the earth. The force that opposes motion between 2 surfaces. Friction is why it's easier to slide on ice than on carpet. The force exerted by magnets on certain materials. Cars, airplanes, and rockets all rely on forces and motion. 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 motion, 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 motion. Almost every sport involves understanding and using forces, throwing a ball, hitting a tennis ball, kicking a soccer ball, etc. Building bridges, skyscrapers, and roller coasters requires careful consideration of forces in motion. 1. What is a force? A. The speed of an object. B. A push or a pull. C. The mass of an object. D. The energy of an object. 2. Newton's first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia. 3. Explain Newton's third law of motion using an example. 4. Which force opposes motion between two surfaces? A. Gravity. B. Magnetic force. C. Friction. D. Applied force. 5. Explain how gravity affects the motion of a ball thrown upwards. 6. A heavier object needs a smaller force to accelerate than a lighter object. 7. Give an example of how understanding forces and motion is important in a specific sport. Even though it seems invisible, gravity is one of the strongest forces in the universe, shaping the orbits of planets and stars. Topic 1. The amazing world of photosynthesis biology. Ever wondered how plants get so big and strong, even though they just sit in the ground? They're not eating pizza or burgers. They're performing a superpower trick called photosynthesis, and it's way cooler than magic. Imagine a plant as a tiny, green food factory. Photosynthesis is the process where plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, the air we breathe out, to create their own food, sugary glucose, and release oxygen, the air we breathe in. It's like a natural energy drink for plants. The plant's energy source. Think of it as the electricity powering the factory. Absorbed through the plant's roots, it's like the raw materials for the food. Taken in through tiny holes in leaf stomata, it's another crucial ingredient. The green pigment in plants, it's like the special machinery that captures sunlight's energy. The plant's sugary food, its energy source for growth and everything else. A byproduct, the waste product, which is essential for us and many other living things. 1. Chlorophyll in the leaves grabs the sunlight's energy. 2. Roots suck up water from the soil. 3. Leaves open their tiny stomata and breathe in carbon dioxide. 4. Inside the chloroplast, tiny structures in plant cells, the energy from sunlight is used to combine water and carbon dioxide to create glucose. 5. As a result of this process, oxygen is released into the air. Photosynthesis is the foundation of almost all food chains. Without it, there'd be no plants, and then no animals that eat plants, and then, well, you get the idea. Plants are like giant oxygen machines, keeping our atmosphere breathable. Photosynthesis helps regulate the Earth's climate by absorbing carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. 1. What is the main product of photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Water. C. Glucose. D. Sunlight. 2. Plants need sunlight to perform photosynthesis. 3. Name 2 things plants need to perform photosynthesis besides sunlight. 4. What is chlorophyll? A type of sugar. B. A green pigment. C. A type of gas. D. A type of root. 5. Explain how photosynthesis helps fight climate change. 6. Oxygen is a waste product of photosynthesis. 7. Name 1 real-world application of photosynthesis besides food production. Rainforest produces. Topic 2. The chemistry of cooking. Chemistry. Ever wondered why cake rises, or why your pasta gets soft when you boil it? It's all about chemistry. Cooking is a fantastic example of chemical reactions in action. We use heat to change the ingredients' chemical structure and create delicious new compounds. Energy that speeds up the rate of chemical reactions. Think of it as the catalyst for change in your recipes. When ingredients undergo irreversible changes in their composition, like baking a cake, you can't unbake it. When ingredients change form without changing their chemical composition, like chopping vegetables, they are still chemically the same. These react with each other and can impact the flavor and texture of your food. Lemon juice is an acid, baking soda is a base. Baking powder base reacts with acidic ingredients like buttermilk to produce carbon dioxide gas, making the cake rise. The heat cooks the eggs and flour, creating a complex network of proteins that give the cake its structure. The heat breaks down the starch molecules in pasta, making it soft and easier to digest. The heat causes a chemical reaction called the Maillard reaction, creating those delicious brown crust and complex flavors. Pickling, canning, and freezing all utilize chemical reactions to slow down spoilage. Understanding chemical reactions helps us prevent foodborne illnesses by ensuring proper cooking temperatures. The chemical reactions during cooking determine the taste and texture of your food. 1. What is the Maillard reaction? A chemical reaction that causes pasta to boil. B. A type of baking powder. C. A chemical reaction that browns meat. D. A reaction that causes cake to rise. 2. Chopping vegetables is a chemical change. 3. Name one type of chemical reaction that is important in baking. 4. What is the role of heat in cooking? A. To only change the texture of food. B. To only change the color of food. C. To speed up chemical reactions. D. To only add flavor to food. 5. Explain the difference between a chemical change and a physical change. 6. Baking soda is an acid. 7. How does boiling pasta change the starch molecules? The characteristic smell of freshly baked bread is due to a complex mix of chemical compounds formed during baking.